That's one way to take out a target, DeStefano said, while nodding his head up and down. It was the wind. I just need to compensate for the wind speed. The wind? Kid, this is Camp Lejeune. This ain't San Diego. Luckily for the corporal, the shooting range was characteristically emptied out this late in the day. Typically, DeStefano had free reign of the shooting range. Everyone except the range master, that is. He found a sense of peace in the solitude of shooting alone. I think I found your problem, DeStefano said. Yeah? How about you enlighten me? The corporal said sarcastically. What's her name? Who? Who? You're a rifle genius. That's who. What's her name? What? The corporal answered in utter befuddlement. Yeah. That's the problem. She doesn't have a proper name. You gotta give her a name, the gunnery sergeant said with a resounding tone of voice. You're kidding me, right? The corporal responded somewhat sarcastically. I don't joke about firearms, ever. DeStefano waddled over to the back of the range and stood over a large black rifle case. He grabbed onto the case with his cartoonishly large hands and unsnapped the latches in rapid succession. Snap, snap, snap. The gunnery sergeant's rifle case was about 4 feet in length and covered in stickers from countries around the world. The exterior of the case resembled that of a passport of sorts for the gunny. Some countries we publicly admitted to being in, and some that might be discovered one day through a Senate hearing or FOIA request. The sights are probably off. I just need to make an adjustment and tinker with the scope, the corporal explained. Tony scoffed at the corporal's logical and well-reasoned response. Move aside, Junior. Time for Betsy and I to put in some work. She ain't pretty, but hot damn she's reliable, DeStefano said as he grabbed his Frankenstein M4 and moved into a prone shooting position. His solid gold cross and his Italian horn jingled as he got down into a shooting position. DeStefano adjusted the sandbags on the ground and started brushing aside all of the spent shell casings. The brass jangled like a large gust hitting a set of wind Japanese chimes. DeStefano stood about 5 feet 5 inches on a good day. He was stocky as hell and had thighs the size of beer kegs. In his spare time, he competed in triathlons and also in strongman competitions. To prove a point, he trained his M4 on the 500-yard target further downrange. He took a deep breath and fired a controlled 3-round burst. 3 loud gunshots rang out like a church bell caught in a tornado. Clack, clack, clack! Plink, plink, plink. DeStefano pulled back the charging handle and cleared his rifle. The firing range at Camp Lejeune was often serenaded with the sound of M4 carbines. It was like music to the gunnery sergeant's ears. No sound was quite as charming as an M4 carbine, chambered in a 5.56 by 45 millimeter NATO, air-cooled, gas-operated, direct impingement, magazine-fed, select-fire carbide. Aside from the brass shell casings falling to the ground, the range was silent. He detached the magazine and daintily placed it on the ground next to him. Smoke was still seeping out of the barrel, like the slow burn of a finely rolled Cuban cigar. Okay, kid, so what did I do that you did not? DeStefano asked while looking back over his shoulder at Janikowski. DeStefano rolled over and hopped up into the squatting position. The glare from the sunlight hit his aviators and beamed a reflection back in Janikowski's face. You mean aside from not being an expert-level marksman since the age of 10? Janikowski asked in a contemptuous tone of voice. Kid, I'm trying to teach you something here. Don't be such a fungool, DeStefano said in a boorish tone while towering over the Marine. DeStefano glanced down at his cotton tactical cargo pants. To his displeasure, they were covered in dust and grime. He began feverishly dusting off his pants. A minuscule mist of dust matter began to hover around the gunnery sergeant. The gunnery sergeant discontinued the assault on his pants and took a second to size up the corporal. Corporal Kyle Janikowski was the spitting image, nay, the textbook definition of a special officer. Kyle stood 6'5" with a massive broad shoulders and a perfect V-shaped physique.